What's up, guys? It's been a while since I made a YouTube video, but there's a lot I want to talk about today. I don't know if you guys were affected by FTX. I certainly was, so I want to go over that and what all happened there. Also want to go over what I'm going to be doing about it and what my next steps are. So stay tuned for that. And I want to go a little bit deep into the economy. I want to talk about the Federal Reserve, the banking system, and how all this affects you and how this is really important right now, especially in 2022. Okay, so let's start with FTX. What a fucking shit show. I lost $40,000 with them and I have nobody else to blame. That is my fault. That is on me. And if you lost money with them, that sucks. I trusted them because they were a massive organization. They had Tom Brady as the face of the company. They literally sponsored the Miami Heat Stadium. I thought my money was safe. I didn't know much about that Sam Bankman-Fried guy, but I didn't realize he was such a piece of shit, but he is. And so we have no one else to blame but ourselves. I should have had that money, that crypto, on a cold wallet, and I didn't. And I knew that I should have the entire time, but they gave an extra 5.8% APY, so I left it on the exchange, and I messed up. So here's what I'm gonna do moving forward. And I think if you lost some money, I would recommend doing the same. So here's the reality. Are we gonna get our money back? Probably not. Will we get some of it back? Maybe. Will we lose it all forever? That's very likely. This guy lost over $1 billion and had less than, I can't remember what they said. I want to say it was less than 500 million in reserves to pay people back. So they don't have the money to pay us back, and we're not first on the list. So that money's gone, but let's back up a little bit. Let's look into what happened. So this Sam Bankman-Fried guy, I guess, had been donating to the Democratic Party and the Biden administration using funds, using customers' money inside the account. He was donating hundreds of millions there. His little girlfriend who owned his hedge fund and his other business was going bankrupt because she didn't know what she was doing, and he bailed her out with customer money. And he was also propping up his FTT token to make it look better than it was, again, with customer money. So when that went bankrupt, that money disappeared. And so that's how the company was completely over leveraged, and that's why we're probably not going to see that money again. Anyways, enough about that. It's the past. It happened. If you got fucked, I'm sorry, I did too. Okay, so do I think this is a crypto problem? Do I think this is a Bitcoin problem? No, absolutely not. It was a fraud problem. And the funny thing is, the entire point of Bitcoin was decentralization. It was don't trust anybody. Don't keep your money on an exchange where somebody can steal it. And we all put our money on exchange, on a centralized exchange, and lost it. Now we're upset. So again, this is why we should add on a cold storage wallet. But do I think Bitcoin's done? No. So hear me out. Let's talk about the current banking system. And this is a totally different topic, but stay with me. FTX was completely over leveraged, and that's why they didn't have the money to pay people back. Guess what? Banks are too. So when you put your money, you work, let's say you have a marketing job, and I'm just gonna give an example, $50,000 a year, and you put that money in the bank, and then you take out a little bit of time to spend. The bank is literally loaning that every cent of that money out. Everybody's money, they're ending the day at zero. They have a reserve requirement, but that's really low. It's like 2%, 3% that they have to hold in reserves, and every other dime they loan out to make profit on. They're making millions off of our money and giving us like 0.0001%. If they have too much money at the end of the day, they literally loan it out to other banks so other banks can meet the reserve requirement. Sometimes they create money out of thin air and they go below zero and they have to borrow from other banks themselves. So you're working 40 hours a week as basically a slave to this company, making $50,000 a year, and the banks are getting rich off of you. And it's not even close to what the Federal Reserve is doing. So you've heard that we're seeing inflation because the Federal Reserve is printing money. Well, let's go deeper into what that actually means. So when the Federal Reserve prints money, what they're actually doing is they're basically writing a blank check. This blank check has nothing backing it. It's a piece of paper, it's a note. And they're buying assets, billions of dollars worth of assets, securities, mortgage-backed bonds, real estate, and they're making billions in interest off the assets that they bought with printed money. So they're buying assets with nothing and then making billions off the interest. I think I saw something that said they made $119 billion in 2021, which was $19 billion more than 2020. They're literally the most profitable organization in the entire world. They are not owned by the government. They're not funded by the government. They are funded. They literally are the most profitable company in the entire world. That money goes into our federal government. So our federal government is getting rich off of you. Here's how that affects you. When they buy assets, that money is being pumped into the system. The money supply is increasing, and you're making $50,000 a year. But when there's that much money supply in the system, prices go up, and that's inflation. They're calling inflation around 9%, but I'm sure it's much, much higher than that. And your wages are not going up 9% a year. Your wages are probably going up like 1 or 2% a year. Maybe you get a 2% bump. So when $50,000 15 years ago probably felt pretty good, today you're broke. And that's because you're being taxed through inflation. So our federal government can make billions of dollars. And you're working for a company that is publicly traded in the stock market. So they own these securities. So your hard work that brings in this company more revenue makes them even more, along with the elites in Wall Street. So they want us here working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, making our 50K salary, just making enough to pay rent, get by, while they're making millions off of us. I truly do believe that Bitcoin and crypto was the best opportunity to revolt against the system. Bitcoin is not backed by anything. So what they want is regulation with Bitcoin. I think the federal government wants to kill Bitcoin because they know that it's their enemy. They have lobbyists trying to get it regulated. They're trying to make money off of it. They don't like that regular people are owning it and are potentially getting rich off of it, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So Sam Bankman-Fried was lobbying to get crypto regulated, and he donated so much to the federal government that after all the fraud that he's committed, he should be in prison forever. But it looks like he's gonna get off scotch-free because he gave them so much money that he's basically pardoned. Okay, so point of the story, I think Bitcoin, I think cryptocurrency is the best chance we have to escape the system. And things are gonna get a lot worse. I'm not gonna go into 2020 and all the things that happened during that time and the control that they had then and where that's headed, but you know what I'm talking about. So there's a cool quote from Henry Ford that I like. And he basically said, I'm just gonna paraphrase it, but he said, if people understood what was going on with banks, there'd be a revolution before tomorrow. So let's go into what I'm gonna do about it right now. So moving forward, here's my plan. I've been investing in crypto throughout this entire bear market, and I believe that bear markets are the best time to invest and the best opportunities we have to generate wealth. And I believe crypto is the best asset on the planet, Bitcoin specifically. You can go back the past 10 years, nothing has outperformed Bitcoin. That's all the data we have. So it's literally the best asset on the planet. Could that change? Absolutely. But as of right now, it's still the #1 performing asset. So I plan to continue to invest in crypto, plan to continue to invest in Bitcoin, but my focus has shifted. My focus is shifting now to generating more cash flows. So one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to day trading. I'm gonna post a video every morning of me trading the market open live. So stay tuned to this channel. There's gonna be a lot more content coming. This is a lot more complex and a lot deeper than I've gone in today, but I plan to make more videos and uncover what's going on in the system and what we can do about it. So let's resist. I'm gonna continue to create content, and I have a call to action from you. I want you to do the same thing. Start brainstorming. Don't quit your job, but find other ways to create cash flow. Day trade, start a digital business, doesn't matter. Figure something out. And this bear market's far from over. Where this recession is gonna go for another year. So we still have time to get back into crypto. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna be posting a lot more content, including live day trades and more about the system and what I think is going on and what I'm seeing. So please like and subscribe if you like this. And if you made it to the end of the video, thank you, and see you next time.